Okay, let's continue other channel in material editor. Again, don't forget I'm starting with standard renderer. If you choose standard renderer, the material that you create is standard and the lights and environment are standard. Open the material and add simple material. When you double click on it, I want to explain transparency channel. And this system that I use is a physical sky. You can see it's a physical sky. And then you can holding your mouse and no, it's not here, sorry. Holding your mouse and interactive render to see the changes that I change in settings to better see. You can higher the quality because my render is very easy. If you go into the setting and change the setting to the standard renderer, you can find physical sky here. You can click it and open it. And this is nice. I want to give this material to this object from here. Make it lower. And then going to the double click to double material, you can open the channel. See the channel here, but I prefer to double click to open material editor here. And I want to activate transparency. It's simple. It's create a simple glass, water, or any transparent object for you. In a transparency, we have two way to creating a color for your transparent object. Two important things. We have a color and we have an absorption color. The absorption color, it's very simple. The color is just changing the color of the cover. It's a shell color. You can see just the shell or the border of your object, change it. But if you want to change the overall whole object, inside object, from inside to outside the object, you have to use absorption color, the color that's light absorb, or something like that. And that's it. So this is a color. You can change the color. Brightness means actually the power of this tool. Another important thing here that I explain it later, refraction. We have two things. Reflection, that's object reflect the object around it, and the refraction is the light break through the object. And we have lots of presets if you want to simulate beer, or for example glass, milk, oil, or anything that you want, you can do it. And important thing here is the refraction number. In the real world, any object has its own refraction number. For example, water or anything that you want. This platonic, I don't like that. Let's change it to the simple sphere to better see this. Now we can see the, if you want to understand the refraction, look at this image. Okay, refraction. For example, we have an object, a light is going and hit the surface of that, and that it's changing its way and brick actually, and it gives an angle to it, and then we can see something like that. In the real world, this effect is refraction. For example, water has 1.3 number for refraction, or make another number. That software simulate this with this refraction number here that you can change it manually. For example, 1, it means nothing. We have no refraction, no light break through the object. So we have completely transparent object. If you want to create transparent object, you can doing like that, or you can change the number, and you can see if you change the number. It's in the custom. You can give any number that you want to refraction to mimic something like that. So with one, brightness is 100%. It's in the power of this tool. If you increase or decrease number of that, you can see the changes here. We have more. You can see the object, that we can see the object behind that with this number, brightness. By default, it's 100%. That you can change it at any time that you want. So again, refraction preset simulate any of these objects, water, ice, water, for example, water. You can see better this checkerboard background here. So if you want to create water, you can do it. It's the refraction number. It's the water refraction code or number here. A total internal reflection. Look at this image. In a real world, for example, we have a scene here that we can put our eye or our camera parallel to the surface, and in this area, if you look at the water, we have completely reflection. It reflects the environment to the surface of the water. But if you don't want that, you can turn it off. Exit reflections. Again, with this example. For example, we have a bottle or a sphere here that has a thickness. In this situation, the light bounces to the object and create some internal reflection of the environment at one surface. If you if you turn this reflections off, we have something like that. So it creates just it's think that the object has no thickness. But if you activate it, that is it's exactly in the real world, because in this sphere we have a thickness. For example, in this example, it's not solid object, it has a thickness and we have a hole in it. And here, this two double reflection that is creating a real world. This is an exit reflections. Fresnel or Fresnel reflectivity, 100%. Look at this image. Anywhere in a software that you see the Fresnel means it's bring that effect at the border. For example, in this example, we don't have any Fresnel. Fresnel is in a real world. In these edges, in this output, in these edges, we don't have the reflection. You can see we have a reflection here, but to activate Fresnel, now we can see in these borders, we have reflection. You can see it's more natural. So this is an Fresnel that you can see better in another example. Additive. If you go to the color and change the color of object here, you can see it does not affect it's the main channel of the color. Okay, if you want to change the color, you can go to color of transparency. But if you want to add the color of main channel of color here to the transparency, you can activate additive. Now you can see the color mixing to your object transparency here. Additive. Again, you can add any texture here, but I have to tell you, in this texture section, you have to give the color code black and white here. For example, another Fresnel, you can see the Fresnel effect here. Activate it. Now you can see it gives the transparency at the edges. For better understanding, it's bring it to custom and make it a 1 to see that. The Fresnel effect, because in a texture, if you make it clear, we have 100% transparent object because of brightness 100%. But with the Fresnel effect, it's bring that effect at the border of the object based on the camera angle. So if you change it to the Fresnel here, now you can see the transparency effect come to borders. So this is a black and white code. In a white area, we have that transparency. In the black area, we don't have. So you can use all of these effects by your own here. You can give it. And we come to absorption color. That is very important. If you want to add a color to your object, for example, this, it gives the whole object that color, not at the shell, at the cover of that object, at the outside. It gives the color from inside to the outside. It thinks that this object is a solid. So this is an absorption color. And another important thing is absorption distance. For better understanding that, I give this object. We have two main things with absorption. It's very important. This number is very important, 100 centimeter. It's based on the object. For example, we have three different objects that I want to give the same color, the same texture to all of them. Number one, you can see that it's the same, the absorption distance. Click and drag from here. Now you can see, because of the difference between the size of the object, we have a different color. So I don't want to bothering you with a mathematical thing. If you give the same number of the absorption distance to the different size of the object, if your object go bigger, become bigger, we have darker object. And if the object is a little, going the smaller object, we have a lighter. But if you come here again, for example here, and we have the same object size and change the number of the distance, the higher number of the absorption distance, we have brighter object, and the lower number of that, we have more dense and more darker object. So again, the size of your object is very important. This is 100 centimeter, and you can see this cube is exactly 100 centimeter. It's double 200. It's a 4 double. So the size of object and the absorption distance are relative to each other, and now you understand them. It's very easy. And be careful about your project size and project. And blurriness, you can give the blurry to your object. As you change the blurry percent, the minimum sample and the maximum sample accuracy will be turned on. Turn on the render. Look at this image. In this image, we have an object that you can see the blurry of transparency. It's very simple. And the maximum sample is very important. If you want to higher quality, increase the number of the maximum sample, but be careful of the render time. For example, in this area that we have a blur, you can see we have a sample here creating the that effect with the samples. If we have more sample, we have more quality. And of course, accuracy, you can change the quality of your render with that. And that's it. It's a transparency channel. It's very easy.